Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ron. I'm known as VA3FUC, otherwise known as Victor Alpha 3 Foxtrot Uniform Charlie. Today we're going to be looking at the Revis Ailuance HD1 radio. I know it goes by many different names, but the HD1 is what I'm going to call it for the remainder of this video. This radio has been great. I've already used it a couple times. I've already been on repeaters, chatting, used digital modes. It's been an amazing little treat. So what I've done is I've reset the radio back to factory standards by holding these two buttons right here and turning on the radio. And what it did is said, oh, this radio is set up for factory mode. I said, yes, reset to factory mode. So it's all back to factory. First thing we're going to do is take our screwdriver and we're going to open up the communication port so we can plug in our data cable. But first, we really should look at the website here. For Revis HD1 website, it was really tricky trying to find the software because Revis has also set up a website dedicated just to this radio, which doesn't have the up-to-date software. So you have to go to the Revis website, hit support, and go to resources. Resources page will load up. That's where you can download your drivers, your GPS, whichever radio you have software, and its firmware. Now, recording this episode, there has been a new firmware released for this radio. As the time I got it, I have a couple of generations earlier, but I'm going to leave that in there. We're going to go update the radio at a later time. Also, this is a good time now to actually go to your radio ID. If you've never been to Radio ID, it's a really good website to get your radio ID number for DMR radio. All you do is just register. Within a few minutes, you'll have a radio ID and you'll be ready to go. But right now, what we're going to do, we're going to get into the radio and we're going to get it programmed. So first of all, take a screwdriver. As you can see, I'm just unscrewing this because it has to be done by a screwdriver. Now, I don't know why it has to be done by a screwdriver. Because the board I'm about to show you, this one right here, is already ready, but it has the thumb screw on it so you can easily tighten it up. What I think is because it's waterproof, and that's the reason why. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on here. So the way I usually do it, so I look for this little tab right here in the end. It slides into the little hole that's on the radio here, like so. Once I get that, I press down, hold it down like so, and then I tighten up the little screw right here. Just by finger tightening. Doesn't need to be that super tight or anything like that. Just tight enough that let the wires hold on there and it's nice and secure. Then I'll turn the radio on and leave it on. So now we're going to go to my little program here, which is the HD1. And I'm going to tell it to, one second here, let me move that down so you guys can see the website, see the program. So I'm going to tell it to read from the radio. As this reads from the radio, what I will also do is I'll also go into my area and I'll load up this website. This is DMR-MARC. I'll go to repeaters. I'll go to my world. I'll click on that again. Click on the area. That one. There we go. And this one repeater I know works. I've already been on it. So we're going to program that repeater. Now, keep in mind, I copied all this already over to a separate code plug, but we're going to go in and we're going to make this code plug together, and we'll set it up on the software itself. Now, the code plug is easy to set up. It just takes a little bit of time to get it all going, and we're going to get this radio going today. So I just want to show you, we're almost done here for loading of the program. Okay, so the read was okay. And there goes the radio again. So we're going to go into basic settings here. Now, basic settings, not really much you got to do on. You might want to set up your settings to, have radio and set up all your scanning information. Also in settings, there's something called a kill command. This allows you to kill it, but I usually turn that off because, no, I don't want anybody killing my radio by accident. And you can set up passwords and everything else. I really don't bother with that. I just bother with here. So key settings, sometimes I like to set these up for certain things like my power levels, that type of stuff. Right now, we're just going to leave it as is. The one that we want to concentrate on is going to be ID settings. This contains all your radio information. So because there's only me here, I'm going to program the ID for my ID and for my call sign. And you can get those from your radio ID website. So I'll just manually enter these in right now. It'll take me a second. Okay, and that's it. Just you get them from your radio ID website and just punch in your information. Done. So now it's time for us to put in the CodePlug, to put in all the channel information. So going back to the website, we have all the information loaded from the website, from this website, from DMR-MARC. I've kind of already copied and pasted into another file so I can easily access the information. We're going to go back to the CodePlug. So we're going to the channels, and we're going to enter in the first station. So we're going to type in the number. And we know the offset's by 5, so we change that 4 to 2 and 9. And then we want to go click on here. What this does, this brings up the CodePlug fill-in information. So channel alias. I guess I'm going to call this DWR time slot. You know what? We're going to program for 310, TAC 310. So I'm going to put time slot, or I can just do DWR and just type in 310. That's how I will know what it is. So we want to know that it's not simplex. It's going to be repeat. What slot is it under? Well, 310 is under slot 1, so we're going to use slot 1. Color code. The color code on that repeater is 7, so we go 7. I always say for color code, just be on the safe side. We're going to leave that custom and call. We're going to be setting that up in a moment too. Doesn't want the GPS info, and we're just going to save it like that. And to save it, we just hit exit. That's it. So what we're going to do is go to the address book now. In the address book, wrong one, priority contacts I meant to say, we're going to go to call 1. We're going to change that title. We're going to call that TAC 30 TAC 310. This is going to be called, looking at this information, I'm going to call this, the number is going to be 310. Okay. We hit add. What this does is you have group call, private call, all call. Group call means that I'm calling is usually for a group. So TAC 310 is a call group Private call, you can program it for, say, another person you're going to know that's going to be on the repeater, or even the hotspot, and you want to talk to them privately, and you have it set up, you can do a private call. All call means you're calling out everybody on the repeater, which technically you don't really need. Just all call or group call. Group call or private call are the main two you're going to be using. All call, I haven't had a need for it yet. It might be interesting. So once we get that program, we're going to go back to here. We're going to click our arrow here. And we're going to say priority is 310. And we're leaving that at custom so that we only receive that. Once we're done that, all we have to do is hit write. And it writes it to the radio. And it's now written to the radio. Now, what you can also do is if you have a repeater that is not digital, so an analog repeater, let's go look at repeater book. And we're going to program in the repeater in my neck of the woods. So we're going to put in the call. I'm going to easily find it here. And that's just by searching. So I just hit one button and it brings me up to Canada. We'll hit Ontario. We're looking for 2 meter. And I am looking for Cambridge. And there's our repeat. And there's the repeater we're going to program. So this is the analog repeater. So we'll just take the downlink. And we'll copy that over into the program. Okay, so it won't copy and paste. This is the problem with the program I find in a lot of ways that this program likes to not work. So we're just going to copy 146.7900. So 146 and then 79. Let's go back into the software. Just make sure we got that written down right. Yeah. So 146, and we're going to go 1900. So we go back to the software. Now here's where it comes fun. See how it says digital? We're going to change that to analog. And high, I'm going to turn that down to mid. We don't need to be blasting out all wattage out to it. On high, it's 10. Mid is 5, and I believe low is 1. So we're going to set those for mid. And I'm going to give this the call sign VE3 SWA. And that I know is our repeater. I think it's SWA if I remember correctly. Yeah, SWR. My mistake. SWR. So we'll change that to SWR. We can go in here and we can set up everything here too. So since the repeater is going to be open, we're going to be doing some talking tonight. I'm going to set for 600. So I'm going to go and don't need to receive GPS info. And that's it. Now, if our repeater had a gate, I would program it in here. But we don't have but our repeater doesn't have a tone, so our repeater is tone free. So it just makes it easier just not put in a tone there. And then I would go and I write to the radio. Channel mode 1. And it's now programmed. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take the radio. We're going to go a little bit outside. And we're going to test it out because I can't reach the DMR repeater in my basement. So we're just going to go upstairs. We're going to fire up the radio and we'll make a call out and we'll see who we get. Anyways, we'll be right back and let's see what we get. Climatic weather outside. It's snowing like a good thing out there. So we're going to do it in here. So I got the radio turned on. 2, 1. We're on repeater number 1. That is the DMR repeater. We're going to do analog first. 2. So I'm going to channel 2. VA3 FUC testing. That's our repeater. That's our club. So we're going to go wait a few seconds. Thank you. There we go. VAC FUC. I'm testing a new code plug. Can anyone respond to make sure this is working? TAC 310 usually is the only one's on there at all times. It's one of the more busier channels. And I'm getting no reply back. That can sometimes happen, depending on if it's busy or not. So, according to this, it is busy. I may not be able to hit the repeater. We'll try one more time. This is VA3 FUC testing code plug for TAC 310. Can anybody reply to let me know if this code plug is working? And I think I got the timer set for too slow. So, yeah, that can sometimes happen. Since again, no reply back, I have a feeling no one's on right now. But I can tell you, it does work because I've already programmed this once already and I had a conversation with a few other people. So, these code plugs do work. It just takes sometimes people aren't on or they won't respond to you if they don't know you. Joys of amateur radio. So, let's go downstairs and let's talk about the process and what I think of it. So, now that we've done a code plug, I want to tell you a few things about code plugging. So, first of all, for code plug, you have to program in each station at a time. So, you got to look at the repeaters and see which ones you want. Brandmeister, all of them use the same network. So, it can vary from code plug to code plug. Like for Ontario, it'll be 3023. So then I would rewrite that code again that I did for that for like TAC 310. I'd enter in all that same information and put in and make sure that one's set up for that call group. So every time you make one, you got to make another one. So if there's like 4 channels you want, then you enter the 4 channels into your priority contacts. Then you add it to the code plug. So yeah, so like I said, for this one here, so we're going to go back to the code plug here. Okay, So if I wanted another channel, I would have to program each one for each channel, which then becomes daunting. That's the only bad thing about CodePlugs. Now you can set up zones. As soon as zones opens up, and you can set up zones so that, say for this repeater, I have these channels only. For this zone, I have these channels only. All your available channels would show up here. All your selected channels would show up here. So then you can make zones, make it a lot more easier to follow stuff. So one could be zone analog, zone weather, zone repeater 1, zone this repeater, hotspot. Once you get that all programmed, it's simple enough to set up and get going. Well, anyways, everybody, I want to thank you so much for watching. Just remember that, with any of these builds, it does take time and effort and to get them all working. But I hope that this has been informative. If you like what I'm doing, please hit the subscribe button. Let me know how I'm doing. Ring that bell. It helps a lot. Also, remember to like the episode if you thought I gave you enough content. And comment down below. I like reading comments. Believe it or not, I do read them. And I do try to respond back. I want to thank you all once again. And, if you run into a problem, just, send me an email. I'll be more than happy enough. Or just leave a comment in the comments. I'll try to help you out if I can. Anyways, everybody, thanks for, being here, listening. And, 73, and have fun.